So with me being a fan of My Hero Academia, I came to the conclusion that I should make a video on it. Now the thought process to finding a video idea that I should execute for My Hero Academia was a bit rough, but then it hit me. Top 5 waifus in My Hero. All Class 1A heroes ranked weakest to strongest. And by the way, I will be only going over the Class 1A students for this video. Of course, this list is accurate from any official standpoint, because it will be based 100% off my perception of these characters. So with that said, if you think my dumbass ranked these characters incorrectly, feel free to comment your list down below in the comment section with your correct list. So starting with the weakest, Koda. Having the ability to command animals is an extremely useful quirk in the Pokemon world. As a single entity, Koda cannot do jack shit compared to what the other heroes have to offer. Maybe if Koda can control an army of Nomus, I would have mad respect for him, but the best he can do is command fucking animals and bugs. So taking a step forward, we got Toru, or Invisible Girl. Her quirk makes her completely invisible, which is of course incredible. But as amazing as that sounds, the best she would probably be able to do in combat is sneak up on her opponent and bitch slap them. So who we have up next is the Oppai loving Mineta. His quirk allows him to produce endless sticky balls, which hey, if used in a tactical fashion, can be effective, but it won't inflict any true damage. Next, we got Jiro. She got earlobe whips, noise cancelling abilities, which is honestly a very situational ability, which will not be put to use 99% of the time, and noise amplification to impair her opponents. Actually, I was a bit dumb when I recorded this because the noise cancelling and amplification is pretty much the same goddamn thing. Besides that, Jiro can also hear through walls, or very thick walls, and I mean that really won't do anything in combat, so I don't even know why the fuck I'm mentioning that. So up next we got Ojiro. When making this video I completely forgot who this man was, but his quirk is a fucking tail. There's not much to say here except that his tail packs a slight punch. So up next we got Shoji with the quirk Duplicate Arms. Essentially this quirk allows him to replicate any external organ using his tentacles. So if he wants an extra arm, ear, eye, mouth, testicle, or nose, hey, he can duplicate them on the spot at his own free will. In my opinion, this quirk does seem a bit useful, but not useful to the point where it will do too much in battle. Sure, Shoji got a lot of strength on his side, and he can technically duplicate arms, so you know you can multiply the power. I mean, I don't think that's how that works, but yeah, that's pretty much all he's good for. And oh yeah, he also has the ability to glide. What the fuck will that shit do in battle? So up next we got Aoyama, the boy who can shoot beams out of his belly. Honestly speaking, this beam is probably as powerful as a dick slap. On top of that, if used too much, Aoyama gets a tummy ache. So I suppose this quirk is okay to an extent. Haha, I lied, it's a bit trash. So up next we got Asui with the quirk that gives her the qualities of a frog. And personally, I think I've seen a little bit too much explicit fan art made with this girl and what she could do with her tongue. Don't ask. But anyways, on land she's quite average in combat, but in water it's a different story. Because given the frog-like features, she can fucking swim. Of course, given these features, Asui is able to hop around like a frog and use her tongue like a frog. Oh wow, really? Like a frog? Thinking about it from a combat perspective, she aight, but if you really look into it, you know, she's not always gonna be in water, so she won't always have the upper hand in battle. And on top of that, if your only weapon is your tongue, I don't think you could do much except just fucking smack people with your tongue, hold people with your tongue, and I guess like slam them, you know. I really don't know what to say here. Her primary weapon is her fucking tongue. So up next we got Seto, the guy who shoots duct tape like Spider-Man. Actually, it's not really duct tape because this quirk produces tape much stronger. But I know what you might be thinking right now. Mo, why the fuck did you put Tape Boy this high up on this list? Well, let me explain. Relax! Due to the fact that this tape is strong enough to restrain someone with killer intent, Seto can certainly strangle someone, or maybe swing them into multiple collisions. In addition to that, this tape ain't slow, so getting a grip of an opponent won't be that difficult. Of course, that depends on the opponent. Also, the tape can be used to swing around, so that's a nice little plus to mobility. So up next, we got Kaminari, the guy who could tickle your nipples with a shock. But if he overexerts his quirk, he goes completely stupid. As a whole, Kaminari's quirk is most definitely viable for combat for 3 seconds. So stepping up the brackets to the top 10, for the number 10 spot, we got Big Daddy Sugar Lip Sato. Quirk: chugging down sugar for a massive power boost, but after 3 minutes runs out, he's completely vulnerable and falls asleep. Sato's quirk is quite a powerful one, but with the drawback of being drowsy after a 3-minute duration, that is a major negative which pulls him down this list. Certainly, he can keep consuming sugar to extend his duration, but that's just a major inconvenience, which, you know, someone could literally go up to you, bitch slap that sugar out of your hand, and you're fucked. So up next we got Uraraka. Physically, we all can agree that she doesn't have much power. Although she did get trained in martial arts by Gunhead, she still doesn't compare to the other physical powers of many of these other heroes. But looking looking at the capabilities of her quirk, it started to make me think otherwise. Being able to disable the gravity of anyone or anything, rendering them weightless with just a simple touch, can go a far way. In addition to that, she can even remove the gravitational pull off herself, which if used strategically can be beneficial. Thinking about it from a combat perspective, all Uraraka gotta do is legitimately touch her opponent once and it's all over, because without gravity you pretty much can't do jack shit, except maybe shoot projectiles if you have any. And even in the event where Uraraka cannot get close to her opponent, she can always use alternative ways to deal damage using this very quirk. Now of course there are drawbacks to using this quirk. First off, if this quirk is overexerted, it will result in Uraraka getting nauseous, similar to Belly Bean Boy. Second, the limit to the weight that this quirk can handle is up to around 3 tons. Is it just me, or does that seem a bit high as fuck? So up next we got Titty Poppin' Momo with the quirk Creation, allowing her to produce inanimate objects using the lipids within her body. The reason why I placed her quite high on this list is because she is able to produce tools or weaponry that best suit the situation. Like, let's just say an enemy is using toxic gas. Boom! Gas mask. Let's just say she falls into a situation where she needs to print out some receipts. Boom! Right there. Now maybe if someone else had this quirk, they would be placed a little bit lower, but what Momo has shown in the final exam battle against Aizawa was just pure redemption of her capabilities. Certainly she doesn't possess any sort of, like, you know, massive physical power to take down her opponents, but why the fuck does she need that if she got a goddamn brain to outplay? Alright, so up next we got Shido with the quirk Acid. There are multiple uses for this acid. It can be used offensively, defensively, and of course used to ice skate. Given this ability to slide around is a major advantage for Ashido. Knowing that she got godlike reflexes, she can dodge and weave, as shown in her little fight against Belly Bean Boy. Being able to control the acid's solubility and viscosity to what's suitable for a situation is always a nice perk to have. If she needs defense, she can make a wall. If she needs offense, she can attack her opponent directly with the acid. And if she needs speed and agility, she can produce acid below her feet to slide around. Wow, what a convenient quirk. Alright, so up next we got Tokoyami with the quirk Dark Shadow. This quirk's power is at its peak at night, but much weaker in the daytime. I wouldn't say it's completely weak in the daytime because it can still put in the work. Obviously without drawback, it kinda dragged Tokoyami a bit down this list, but let's face it, it's not gonna be nighttime at all times. And also, with Dark Shadow being weaker in the daytime is because, you know, it has a weakness to light. And so if Tokoyami is going up against a fire user, he's pretty much screwed. But on the flip side, if Tokoyami is in complete darkness, Dark Shadow will literally consume him. And let's just say Tokoyami gets a little stronger. Now moving on to the top 5. For the 5th strongest on this list, we got Kirishima. Overall, this character hasn't had much screen time in the anime, and if you're like me and haven't read the manga, you most likely don't know jack shit about his capabilities. But of course, for the sake of this video, I went a bit ahead, and I saw Kirishima's quirk at work. This quirk is basically a Juggernaut suit on steroids, essentially giving Kirishima invulnerability to physical attacks. First, we got his base armor form, which is, you know, is pretty effective by itself. And then we got the ultimate armor form, known as Red Right Unbreakable, which is just yeah. Certainly Kirishima can be blessed with too much power, and so he does have a 30 to 40 second time frame before Red Right Unbreakable depletes. In addition to this massive defense, Kirishima does have the power to strike down an opponent with a single punch. So to put it simply, defense plus power equals Kirishima beating that ass! Alright, moving forth, we got Ida. His quirk is pretty self-explanatory, but if you need my help, I got you. Quirk calf exhaust, allowing him to run about as fast as shit, but if those exhaust pipes get clogged, he's absolutely fucked. Originally, I thought Ida was all just about that speed, but if you really think about it, speed is kind of a huge factor that can catch you many wins in battle. Going up against the speed that Ida possesses is a bit overwhelming if you're on the opposing side, and in conjunction to that, those legs are no goddamn pillow, so if you get roundhouse kicked, you're gonna feel it. But if you really just sit and think about it, technically all you gotta do is take a shit in Ida's exhaust pipes and you win. Alright, so the 3rd strongest on this list is Bakugo. He definitely has a powerful quirk on which he manages to utilize very tactically in various situations, ranging from mobility, offense, and I mean rarely ever defense. Bakugo's quirk solely relies on the sweat in his palms to ignite explosions, so if he finds himself in a cold area, it will become more difficult for him to induce an explosion. I personally believe the reason why this quirk works so well for Bakugo is because he is easily angered, which pushes him to try harder, ultimately leading to more sweat and therefore producing stronger explosions as he progresses in a fight. But that's the way I think about it, so my dumbass is most likely wrong. Anyways, what's crazy is that the shockwave alone from one of his large blasts can send some of his opponents flying. So, the 2nd strongest on this list is Todoroki. And do I really need to explain how OP this man's quirk is? Todoroki is a whole 2-in-1 package, and he definitely possesses one of the strongest quirks out of the students in Class 1A. Given the ability to freeze opponents or burn them to ashes is certainly the true wombo combo. The massive scale and speed of Todoroki's ice attacks is nearly unavoidable if you're on the other end. Unless an opponent got some serious speed or the strength to destroy the ice before it reaches them, their asses are getting turned into popsicles. What's incredible about Todoroki's quirk is that even if he overuses his ice powers and gets frostbite, he can always use his other half to defrost himself. So speaking of convenience. Now looking at the combat aspect of everything, both sides of this quirk can be used offensively and defensively. For ice, Todoroki can either freeze that bitch or defend himself with a large ass wall. For fire, Todoroki can either burn that bitch, or if someone is getting a bit too close to him and is about to kiss him, you know, he could just push them away with the fire. Now moving on to the #1 strongest student hero in Class 1A, we got Midoriya. I think it was kind of obvious that this man was going to get up here because, you know, he is kind of the main character of the show, and with being the main character, you're the fucking strongest. That's just how it fucking works in shonen. But I digress. So Midoriya possesses the quirk One for All, and there are too many factors that go into this quirk that kind of makes it the perfect quirk in my opinion. But to go over the premise, it gives an incredible power, speed, and agility boost, which are key components to winning any fight. Also, it can be applied to many, if not any situation. As of this current moment, Midoriya doesn't have perfect control over One for All to utilize it at its maximum power, which leads him to injuring himself as backlash in certain scenarios. But I'm sure once he overcomes the struggle and gains full control like All Might, no matter the foe, Midoriya will spread those cheeks no problem. One for All's power is not just power, it's power! With proper usage, any opponent can be defeated with this quirk due to its flexible nature. And what I mean by that is that One for All has the capability to counter and overpower many other quirks. And with Midoriya possessing strong critical thinking skills, that plus One for All equals Midoriya spreading them cheeks! Alright, so that seems to be it for this nice little weakest to strongest list ranking type of shit. If you do disagree with my list, you know, you can always go down in the comment section and tell me why I'm wrong, and then, you know, you can put your list and I can tell you why you're wrong, you know? So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. But before I go, I would like to give a shout out to Kirby Myers and my other Patreon supporters for supporting my channel through Patreon. So yeah, with that out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Other than that, I'll see you guys later. Peace.